Hi, everyone. Let me go through the questions, answers, and rationale for exam 4. So obviously the focus of this exam pretty much on access, a lot of different things in the emergency department. Um, so I'm going to talk more, sort of draw less. Which of the following patients will benefit the most from EMTALA, the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act? EMTALA has a number of functions, including providing a medical screening exam to all that appear from any source in the ED. And so if you look at all four of those, it looks like Liam, who lost his health insurance, and even though he's got an impacted tooth, um, would benefit the most. Everyone will benefit, but this stands out because of the nature of EMTALA. And so, really, the rationale, obviously, access comes in the form of health insurance, and that is key there. Second question. Why is the emergency department considered an area of coordinated chaos? We talked about that. We spoke about that a few times, and the film The Waiting Room highlighted that. Um, so it is a lot of things happening at the same time. Um, and so if you look at probably the most important thing, which is this first thing, multiple entry points, there's lots of ways that people can come in. Um, and not that this all happens simultaneously. It could, but even if there's two ways that, or three ways that people come in, it's quite a bit. But if you add into other issues, certainly a level one emergency department sees the highest acuity of patients, but a discharge delay, which we saw in the waiting room, can be because the medical team doesn't have a proper place to put these patients, so they stay in the emergency department, and people are still coming in. There's a variety of things happening at the same time. And so it blocks up the emergency department. Uh, Even though it's functioning, the coordination is still a bit chaotic. Which of the following best explains why the ED is considered a critical safety net in the healthcare system? Think about a safety net as something that rescues individuals. And it's really for this first idea, which many of you got correct, because it does a number of things, provides immediate medical care to all individuals. Immediate is relative. It's not on the spot necessary, but it provides it, regardless of insurance status or the severity of their condition. Obviously, the individuals through the triage system who have the most severe condition will be seen first. But that safety net is also a primary access issue. Okay, so the question, where did I go here? Okay, let's go to number 4. What is an ongoing ethical issue in emergency departments? And I specifically was talking about the EDs in Evansville level 2. It actually doesn't even matter which one it is. And it has to do with um, one of the themes that we spent quite a bit of time on that you'll see later on, which is the notion of boarding. Um, Boarding is an ethical issue because now that really this is what the question's asking. It's an ethical issue because it basically stops the accessible flow of individuals through the emergency department. Now, many of you actually chose, let me go here, who are frequent patients who are frequent flyers, often have substance abuse. Without rehabilitation, they'll keep using it. That is true. It is a true statement. Um, it's not necessarily ongoing. I mean, it occurs, and it's usually the same individuals. It might not always be for substance abuse, but it is primarily linked to that. But the primary ethical issue goes back to access. So you think about access, you really need to focus on boarding. Okay. So let's go to number five. This is the gentleman who was diagnosed in the ED with bone spurs. He's uninsured. Okay, so this is key. What's important? He won't be able to see a specialist for 6 months. What's the primary ethical issue here? So he's uninsured. Which one of these focuses on the notion of not being able to afford or losing his health insurance? And because of that, he won't be able to see a specialist. He has financial constraints. And so his ability to make informed decisions, remember autonomy? His autonomy, which really is the ethical issue here, is stopped because of his finances or lack of finances. He can't make decisions. He is stuck. Now, again, you look at, I sort of mixed up C and D here, but it doesn't really matter. Um, the emergency department is a safety net. We know that. If you look at B, the potential burden caused by delaying necessary treatment may worsen his condition. True statement, absolutely true. But it's asking for a primary ethical issue. And you can link up his autonomy is stopped because he doesn't have access to health insurance. There are two things happening here. And so focus on always, 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 with maybe one exception, which I'll get to in a second, focus on the ethical issue. You won't go wrong there. And I'm talking about all the ethical issues that we've talked about, access being the primary one for Exam 04. Okay, number six, um, consider the patients in the waiting room. What combination of themes best defines them? And if you don't have access and affordability, it's right there in front of you, then that's really the focus. Okay. And it would be very helpful in the rationale, which many of you did, is to include an example like the bone spur guy in the question above. Okay, so number seven. This is about Olivia, and she is had a massive stroke, and she's incapable of consenting to care decisions. She doesn't have a healthcare representative. The question, though, asks who may be the most appropriate individual to function? Who may be? So I think correctly, you start with the Indiana hierarchy for individuals who don't have a um, healthcare representative designated. But what you see there is some constraints, some problems. First of all, her ex-husband, who recently remarried, they were married to each other for 35 years. It's that is irrelevant, actually, how long they were married, if you're using the hierarchy. But what you can't say, if someone is no longer legally married, which James and Olivia are no longer married, then that drops him down. Even if he's known her for 35 years, even if he's a good guy, because she can't consent. So let's go to uh, the other case. If you go down on the hierarchy, the next one that potentially makes sense is her oldest daughter who lives in Indianapolis. She's a teacher, but still lives paycheck to paycheck. So oldest daughter. How many kids she have? She has 4 kids. What does it say about adult children? It says the majority. Well, we're not sure. There's only one daughter mentioned here, but she's got 4 kids. So that creates a bit of a problem because we're not sure. Now, if it said the oldest daughter and she represents the majority and she's spoken to her other siblings, okay, that's different. But we're not sure here. So, okay, let's go to next on the hierarchy list, which is a sibling. Oh, here's a younger sister. They haven't spoken since their disagreement over the presidential election. So she's there on the list, but the question asks who may be the most appropriate, okay? And so you take that into consideration and you say, okay, the hierarchy doesn't seem to work. The hierarchy doesn't have to work in every situation. It is a guide. So let's go to the last one. If we don't know who Ella wanted because she didn't say anything, what you need to go to is what's in Ella's best interest and what would we gather matters most to Ella, to Olivia. I don't know why I'm saying Ella. Oh, Ella's the person. What matters most? What in the answer matters most? And what you can see is um, she goes to church every Sunday morning, and her next door neighbor Ella has her next door neighbor of 15 years. She has driven Olivia to church every Sunday morning. What matters most to Olivia is, at least we can gather here, is her faith. And so we have an inkling that, you know what? He's a next door neighbor. There's a connection here, at least in terms of something that matters most. My phone rings and I'm not going to answer that. And there you go with Ella. Okay. Let's go to number 8. Um, which patient noted below is most likely to be boarded in the emergency department on a Friday evening? I think everybody asked me again, what is boarding? What is boarding? Boarding only applies to individuals who have been admitted. They're admitted to the hospital. They just can't go to a hospital bed yet for a variety of reasons. So the only one who's been admitted is Zoe. So if you understand what boarding means, you get that. Okay. Number 9 is about David. And the question asks, which of the following statements is true about him? This isn't so much an ethical issue, it's really just transactional. He's 50 years old, he has health insurance through his employer. Quite honestly, A, here, right on this, indicates that it's health insurance through the employer. It's private insurance. Employer-based insurance is always going to be private. The public insurance is provided through the government. It is not provided through employers. Okay. And the last question, number 10, really it is about the neighborhood nursing initiative. The question asks, what may be the most essential element that contributes to the success? What contributes to the success? And quite honestly, it's right. If you go to the Blackboard site where you followed the neighborhood nursing initiative and the NPR article, there's a wonderful article that I referred to in the podcast I did on trust. It's the most essential element. It's actually in the story as well that you can read. Um, when patients feel respected, value, and trust their healthcare provider, their overall experiences improves. Why is that? Because the nurses in the neighborhood nursing initiative are coming to people's homes. So you think about it, if someone is coming to your home that you've never met, even though they're there to help you, we're not wired to open the door and say, please come in and look at everything. It takes time to trust people, especially if they're coming into our space. And so it's the only way this is going to work when there's trust built in, and that takes time. Okay, folks, I'm going to let you go. Please let me know if you have any questions along the way. Be happy to answer them. Bye.